Yeah, time for the Flippy update.
Flippy update. Where are we? Okay, here we go. Flippy update.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right, folks. It's time for the Flippy update, a Canary Cry NewsTalk original. I don't care what other podcast is doing a Flippy update, if it's Joe Rogan, if it's Adam Carolla stealing the intellectual property of a hardworking blue-collar podcaster like myself.
I want Ben Shapiro to do it.
Take
Flippy.
no substitute, folks. Original Flippy update here on Canary Cry NewsTalk. The Flippy update, if you don't know, the Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways the robots are taking over the world, and just how there's nothing we can do about it. Today's Flippy update is coming from CNBC.com. Thanks for everybody sending it over. This is not about robot arms. It is Flippy update adjacent, but on this 500th episode, while we celebrate the landmark movement of robot personhood, the personhood of AI, CNBC here is reporting Amazon demonstrates Alexa mimicking the voice of a deceased relative.
Yeah.
Told you so, folks. Amazon is devising a way for users to speak to their family members through its Alexa voice assistant, even after they're dead. At Amazon's Mars conference in Las Vegas on Wednesday, Rahit Prasad, senior vice president and head scientist for the Alexa team, detailed a feature that allows the voice assistant to replicate a specific human voice. In a demonstration video, a child said, "Alexa, can Grandma finish reading me The Wizard of Oz?"
Interesting choice.
Alexa confirmed. Oh, The Wizard of Oz? Yeah. Alexa confirmed the request with the default robotic voice, then immediately switched to a softer, more human-like one, seemingly mimicking the child's family member. The Alexa team developed a model that allows its voice assistant to produce a high-quality voice with, quote, less than a minute of recorded audio, Prasad said. The feature is currently in development. Amazon did not say when the feature would be rolled out to the public. And it goes on, but you don't need to hear any more because we've talked about this for years as well. How artificial intelligence, speech recognition, speech mimicry, as well as, VR and things like that, there is the spiritual element. Now, whether or not you think about it in this conversation, in the context of this particular product, whether you think about it in a literal spiritual way, as in, some sort of accessing some sort of literal spiritual thing, or spirituality more as a human experience to be had, reaching out for something bigger, connecting with ancestors or the importance of family members, things like that. Even a secular person would call these types of things spiritual. So the idea that a robot would be equipped to mimic, A, the voice of anybody, but B, the voice of a deceased relative in order that we may hold on for just one last story time and pray to the altar of Google, a literal little object,
Amazon.
A little icon, a little idol that sits on your shelf, and you say, Google, can you reincarnate Grandma for me so I can just stay attached to the memory or whatever? I'm trying to speak in sort of secularist, Google, spiritual terms.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, Google Home.
Google Home. I was going to say, This is
a literal
Alexa,
little icon, a little idol, a little statue that you speak to, almost pray to reconnect with your deceased loved one. Just disturbing in so many different ways. However, I mean, let me not confuse anybody. I understand how a world so devoid of a true connection to the spiritual realm would see this as some sort of breakthrough, would see this as some sort of grace or comfort to an otherwise spiritually disconnected society. I think that is the really disturbing part about this. Not so much that the technology exists, because it's existed for a while, maybe not as easily for a consumer as Amazon is making it. I'm sorry, I kept saying Google. I'm talking about
that's what
Amazon.
I kept trying to point out, but it's okay.
You're
You're
right.
making the point, so it's okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, but same with Google. But yes, Amazon, the idol of the Amazon Echo or Dot or whatever.
Alexa, yeah.
I that's the thing. I've been kind of obsessed with this difference between the actual sickness and the symptom. I think this is a symptom of the actual sickness, which is just a true disconnection from a spiritual mindset, a spiritual experience in the world, that it must be recreated and given to us by Daddy Bezos. Daddy Bezos needs to be the guy who reconnects us in an important way to the dead. Okay, sure, Daddy Bezos.
Well, biblically, it reminds me of the Witch of Endor story.
Sure.
Where, they conjure up, the Witch of Endor conjures up the spirits of the deceased. I think the Hebrew there is Elohim, which is also for gods, plural, is any kind of spiritual entity.
Yeah.
So, and then you look at necromancy and stuff like that. That's definitely there. There's a quote in here from this article that's interesting that you're reading from. Making artificial intelligence conversational and companion-like has become a key focus, especially given that, quote, so many of us have lost someone we love during the COVID-19 pandemic, Prasad said. So you're leveraging the pandemic as an excuse, and
of course,
providing almost like providing a service, almost like a church after difficult times, or just a church in general existing as a place where people can come together as community, connect with one another, honor spiritual reality, whatever it might be. Google is saying, hey, or not Google, I'm doing the same thing you did. Amazon is doing with this Alexa thing that, this device can become a pillar, almost like your literally your necromancy psychic communication device.
This is technocratic in a way. And look, I don't want to overstate it, but you could literally describe this as technocratic necromancy.
Yeah.
I mean, just by the strictest definitions of those words.
You into Technic, bro?
Technic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there you go. There's your Flippy update for the day. It's hopefully we can find a way. Maybe we could upload our own voices, Gons. Hey, if we can upload Grandma's voice, why not have Basil's voice read to you at night? I think we're on to something.
We're just gonna have products of, well, probably mainly you reading children's books to kids all across the world. Uncle Baz reading you the story from.
No, I'll just be reading Michael Heiser books.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bible verses or, Heiser books.
Yeah.
Next best thing.
Okay.
All right. Well,
there's your Flippy update for the day.
Sounds good.